No.
Big star, suck my cock star.
Okay, easy on that.
How you feeling, man?
Feeling like $1 million dong.
$1 million?
Yeah, it's like $100.
$1 million dong?
Yeah, dude. $1 million Vietnamese dong. It's like $100. You're leaning back too far.
All right.
It's okay. I can move you around. There you go. Now I look as big as you. Because I'm wearing a fucking
almost
inflatable vest out here.
You can't tell though. You got to be up like 4 inches.
So yeah, take a good look at me. This is me if I was Armand size.
Stand up a little bit. No. Like,
I'm not standing up. I'm that too fucking lazy.
no, that's not why it is. You have a bad fucking knee, my friend. You
No,
got a geriatric knee.
I got a good knee, bro. What are you talking
You
about?
got a geriatric knee. Homie
Listen,
can't
man,
get up of a chair.
It's okay. It needs a little bit of work, but it's gonna be okay.
How many years?
What do you mean years? Not even a year. What are you talking about?
How many years, really?
No, I'm serious. The year is the max.
But like, is it though?
Yeah.
Remember
that's
I dislocated.
return to sport.
Okay. Remember I dislocated my elbow?
Yeah, but you didn't do any physio. You just like tried to fix it yourself.
No, I've dislocated shit, and I've broken bones.
Yeah, I know,
too.
but you don't do physio. You're like, fuck them, man. I don't need them for shit. You just go and do your own therapy. Look it up on YouTube or I don't know, something that your cousin sends you. Like, Arman, I saw this guy. He says he can fix your elbow like that. And you try and do it, and you just aggravate or something. I don't know.
Listen to me. This never happens.
You just don't strike me as the type of guy who's actually gonna go to physio, listen to some white dude telling you like, lift your hands like this and do this for me, and you know what I mean?
But physio is a science you can study.
That's what I mean. Like you don't strike me as the type of guy who's actually gonna you're gonna like go
Why
to the
can't
gym.
I do both?
The gym's gonna be your physio.
Why can't I do both?
I don't know. I feel like they can tell you why you can't do both.
You can do a certain amount of exercise in the gym.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true. I've been going to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, but you have to be educated enough to understand like what restraint. I honestly think this is the thing. I don't think learning about health and how to keep track as far as like KPIs of health measures is that hard to learn. I think anybody can do it. I just think a lot of people don't give a fuck.
Well, it's time. As with most things, it's just time.
But it seems like it should be a priority on everybody's list that wants to live a long, you know what I mean, life.
Fair.
Generally, you like if you want to have kids, you want to have grandkids and shit like that. You want to live to be mobile into your 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
But how many people actually want to do it? I don't think it's time. I think it's effort.
It's time, dude. It's time. People
It's a
put
lot of effort.
People
too,
put
though.
effort into a lot of things.
Yeah, but it's because they don't like it. It's hard. Not everybody likes going to the gym.
Oh no, that's fine. But you're talking about like the study and like also, well, it's like yeah, man. To like get deep into it, it's just time to learn. It takes time to understand.
No, forget school.
No, I mean like literal time. Like
No,
if you're gonna,
I understand.
how
it
much
takes
time of your day you're gonna like go to YouTube and look something up or like whatever. Like people have a lot of other things that they need to be doing, right? So the most that most people can actually afford is like, okay, I'll go to the gym, I'll do some like basic stuff and like
what
whatever.
I'm saying is totally different. I think we should have a culture of, hey, at a certain age, everybody should be looking this shit up because it's like you're getting into your adulthood. Probably the best time for guys and girls is like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like best time because like you're not super busy with school really because now we have busier lives and we understand what really being busy is. Back then, you're not that busy. So it's like, can you, have a class or a program that's implemented for the new generations coming up? Hey, this is how you watch your diet. This is how you think. Imagine, forget the health improvements. Imagine the insurance fucking drops. Imagine the fucking tax rate drops this should produce if the government's not corrupt. Pierre Poilievre 2024. Let's go.
Pierre Poilievre. The guy's a quack, dude. Jesus, man. All these guys are whack. We need something else, man.
No, we need Pierre Poilievre.
Fuck Pierre Poilievre, man. He can lick my nuts.
Why?
The guy fucking... Oh, man. The guy,
Hector, tell me 2 things that's wrong with Pierre Poilievre.
he goes back on a lot of shit that he says. So basically, almost anything that he says, you could say that's bad. So like, what do you agree on? What do you agree with him on? Name one thing. I'll tell you a time where he said the opposite thing just to please people.
What do you disagree with him on?
No, that's my issue. That's the main things because I know that you walk back on everything. Then I don't know what to fucking believe you on. If you're gonna start saying like, oh, like blah blah, the immigrants, blah blah, but then 3 months ago there's a clip of you telling the fucking Indians we need more Indians to come here. You're like, wait, what the fuck? So what is it? Do you need more Indians to come here and prop up the economy, or do you need to tell them to stop coming here because we want our own people to prop up? You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? You can't be doing both things, and that's one example, right? So I'm like, a guy like this.
Hold on, just
you're gonna stop me mid rant?
No, not mid rant. No.
Okay.
Are you saying this because he's conservative, or are you saying
no?
this
I've seen the clips, and I'm like, bruh, what is this? Like,
Okay.
there's clips of him at a rally for like Indians to Canada or some shit like that, and he's in a room full of brown people, which is fine. You can do that, but then he starts saying all this stuff, and then now he's taking the stance of, oh, we should really be limiting our immigration numbers. Trudeau's really been doing too much with that, and like we've been allowing anybody to come into the country. And, you know, when I mean anyone, you know who I mean. And he's really referring to, like, you know, which is fair. Like, there's a fuck ton of Indians. Like, okay, that's fine. But I'm like, you can't do both, man. Like, because then what are you?
I understand your awareness of his hypocrisy, which is nice because I don't think you're biased. I just think certain people that identify as higher IQ or higher understanding of their surroundings and politics and whatnot, I think they usually go liberal. And I think right now, Liberal Party, it's like a fucking horsehair away from fucking fascism. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
It's pretty fucking close.
No, I think
Buddy Trudeau, he fucking has his family getting paid by the government. And you know, you see all of these, you know, politicians knowing exactly when to trade and what to trade, passing these bills that you know, think about the bills that's been passed in the United States and Canada alone. Just count that truck rally shit. That was fucked. They declare like a state of emergency. For what? A couple truckers striking? Go fuck yourself. What are you talking about?
It wasn't a couple, dude. They fucking locked down the city center.
So what?
I mean, so what?
So what?
What do you mean, so what?
What happened to freedom of expression?
Freedom of expression does not mean you get to impinge on my freedoms. That's a very important distinction that people need to understand. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of anything really, only extends as far as the next person. Your freedom to do whatever you want should not be infringing on the next person's freedom to do what they want. So I'm free to say, you know, like, fuck all people, blah, blah, that's fine. But if I start going to someone's house right in front of where they live and I start saying, fuck you and you deserve to die, imagine like the crazy shit you could be saying. Like, oh, they're just words. Okay, that's fine. What if that's a fucking 85-year-old grandma who's now scared to go to the fucking grocery store because of what you're saying? Just because you have freedom of expression and speech does not mean that you can now start reducing other people's freedom and how they want to live. So that's a very important distinction to make, and that's why protests are a tricky thing, because you're like, well, hold on, I want to be able to organize a rally so that, you know, blah blah, I can do this and that, but why the fuck does their protest and their rally have to now block my access to get to work or to get to the hospital if I have to, or all these other things? So that's where these things become really interesting.
I'd like to live in a civilization where it's killed or be killed.
It's kill or kill. Well, you know, it used to be like that, and
it was nice.
It's nice, but
because life was short and people appreciated it.
It's not. The issue with that is there is a limit on the group size that can exist. So a kill or be killed society works well for small groups and works well for medium groups, but it doesn't work for large groups. It won't. It just, the group itself is basically keeping the population at a certain size. It won't allow itself to grow because of this mentality That's the issue with the kill or be killed society. If you allow this kind of thing to happen, you're never going to grow past. I'm no expert on like group psychology and like all that other stuff, but it's well documented. Like,
don't you think that we're already at capacity as far as like resources per human per capita?
people have been saying that for like 50 years. The answer is no. There's actually a lot more resources than we account for, but we feel that way because of how we distribute the resources in the world and how we hoard wealth and how we hoard food and energy and all these other like necessities. So it looks that way. It doesn't have to be that way. Think about wealth, right? Like you and I have enough wealth that's the equivalent in a lot of countries for like thousands of people. Does that have to be the case? I mean, it is right now, and it's been for a while. It'll probably be there for like the next little while too. It's not going to change really, but why is it that I have?
What are you going to do?
Why is it that I have enough money for thousands of people in a different country? How does that make any sense?
You roll the dice and luck of the draw, man.
Something like that, but it really, like I said, just has to do with distribution of resources.
I don't know, man. I just think
like we're not actually at capacity is what I'm saying. Like there's enough food to go around the entire world. There's enough any resource you can think of, there is enough to go around the world and feed the people and
Don't you think we should watch the margins though?
Watch what?
Don't you think like I think having kids shouldn't be a freedom. I think you should be able to have to
Yeah, we've talked about this.
In a civilization you have to pass
We talked about this, yeah.
So that being said, the same people who you have to pass this test with are the same people that watch the numbers. Just because we can have more people in the world and can have, produce and feed more people doesn't mean we should. You know what I mean? I think we should keep it at a certain healthy amount where people are living. And this would stop the inflation dramatically. Like inflation would be at a certain point where it's tolerable, right?
In some ways, yeah. But I mean,
I'm not saying kill people.
We've seen it before. I mean, you had China with the one-child policy.
I think that was a good idea.
Yeah, but that should never fly here in this society.
Well, it's only because we have softer people who haven't had that kind of experience, that kind of control from.
I wouldn't say softer. I think that's the wrong word to use.
I think people here are maybe not softer, but more concerned about being controlled. And yes, I think generally people don't understand that the average human being maybe not should be controlled, but pushed and steered to the right way for the betterment of society. If the goal is to preserve human life, that's technically the right answer, right? People should be not brainwashed, but like show them logic. And if they're smart, then they will. And the outliers will get burnt. Like that's just what it is. And it's not that cut and dry in real life. But if you see somebody with a really low IQ that isn't going through societal norms, generally speaking, they're on the bottom tier of society. And that being said, it's like those people outcast themselves in a way because of their characteristics, personalities, life choices, whatever. But all in all, I think in a good government, they will steer their people in the direction for the betterment of the people.
That's the idea.
That's the whole honest truth. But the thing is like now a lot of people here think they really have rights. Like I've heard, if I had $1 for every time a girl or guy or whoever, right, at a certain point in my life told me that, oh man, like I got rights. You don't got shit, homie. Like you are a number that you produce a certain amount of money, a certain amount of energy for a certain amount of cash flow, and you work. You're a slave. You're a working slave. You do these bullshit jobs. Like, one software engineer can't make Microsoft Word. It takes like hundreds of software engineers to make Microsoft Word, and it takes years, maybe in a decade. Microsoft Office was made, I think, in 14 years. Decade and a half to do what is considered in our circle of people as a higher end job, I would say. but it's completely useless. Like it would take you decades to do anything by yourself. So it's like, is that really a skill? Is that a worthful skill? Really? Not really. It's like just part of the pie. It's not the whole pie. It's just part of the pie. You know, you know what I'm saying? You ever think like this? Like these skills that we know are almost useless without the people that also know other skills that link us.
Well, that's what makes a collective effort interesting. That's kind of the whole idea.
Sure, but
There's
any of us on our own, we're useless in society.
I wouldn't say useless in society. I mean, there is a thing to be said about modern humanity has become less useful on their own as individual people than they used to be hundreds of thousands of years ago. Like you go way back, like our early ancestors. They were a lot more useful individually because they had to be. There was less of them around. The environment was very different. It was much more dangerous to be a human, essentially. You were not the biggest guy around. You didn't have technology really on your side. Sure, you were a bit smarter than the creatures around you, but by and large, nothing really special about you. So you had to be a lot more well-rounded in terms of like survival skills, some critical thinking, problem solving, that kind of stuff. So in a lot of ways, yes, we're less useful than we used to be. But the benefit is that as a society, we are exponentially more productive than that used to be. And so that allows your individual people to specialize in certain areas and essentially become useless in many others.
Do you think we are we're heading in the right direction for people, or are we heading in the right directions for entities that control us?
That's a very interesting question.
Because me personally, I'll tell you up front, I don't need to go into detail or explain this. We're clearly going towards entity use. We're clearly going towards mass hypnosis. We're clearly not being able to think outside the box most of the time. I think that's what it feels like out here.
Do you think you can think outside the box?
I think represented with the right message, I think I can.
Do you think you're unique?
I don't think I'm unique.
So then what you said can't be true.
Why?
Because how could we be headed for mass hypnosis if you describe yourself as someone who's able to think outside the box and you also said you're not unique? That would imply that there's many people like you around and many people would not be bound by this mass hypnosis.
Just because I say that I'm not unique doesn't mean the next person next to me is going to say that they're not unique, you dumb fuck.
No, but they don't. It's not what they think. It's what you think. It's like,
Bro,
how unique do you think you are?
Okay, but then
I'll
this
rephrase
is my
it.
point. That's my point.
I'll rephrase it to you.
Hold on, listen.
I'll rephrase it.
Listen.
Don't try my twist my words
No,
around.
I'm not twisting nothing.
I'll
I'm just trying to
rephrase it.
explain what you just said.
No.
No, let me clap back. Why are you trying to be a little bitch?
Because I'll
You're trying to
rephrase. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's see if we can get around this one. Out of 100 people, how many people do you think would think like you? With this whole like thinking outside the box. You think you're the only one?
By my perspective, I might not be. Perspective and perception are different though. Right? My perspective might be in a way where I might think that I'm not original, and then 100 other people might look at me and say that you are original.
Yeah, but that's not the question we're asking here.
So you're looking at it 1D though. You're looking at it only by my perspective.
Relax, Mr. fucking 4D chess. I'm asking you a relatively. We're simplifying this whole thing in terms of discussion. We're not going to get into like the fucking weirdness of it. Like I'm just saying, out of 100 people, how many people do you think could think like you of this outside the box?
These numbers don't matter, is what I'm trying to say. You fuck.
All right, dude. Well,
if you're
not going to play, then
if
let's
we
move
are
on.
if we are saying that every person next to me that you're going to count in this study is exactly like me, then yeah,
not
by
exactly
default,
like you.
By default, you are correct. But if every man was absolutely true with any word he said, he would be Jesus himself. Because there's no absolutes in anything that anybody can say. Like, there's no absolutes. Like, for example, somebody could say, like...
Oh, my God. What's the minute so we can cut this shit? Jesus. devolving here. It's
Man.
evolving.
Listen,
19. Jesus
if
Christ.
somebody could say like, I'll give you an
Somebody
example.
gonna get hurt. Oh fuck.
All right, man. We were talking about this outside, but I never actually told you what Solomon's paradox is.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Solomon's paradox is, it's generally been shown that people are better at solving other people's problems than applying that same wisdom and knowledge to themselves and their own lives. And it's because they're not attached to the other problems. They're
Yeah,
unbiased.
that makes a lot of sense.
And you see this very commonly. Like you'll see...
I see it in myself. Like I've done that many times. Yeah.
And even like I've had some girlfriends that were really good coaches. Dating one.
Yep.
Like she will be like, okay, we got to do this. And then she'll do majority of the work.
You're right.
It's great. But at the same time, like, can apply to themselves as well. Like when I go over, it's like fucking clean as shit.
Yeah.
And then you're like, holy fuck. Well, makes sense, right? But the problem is like, you got a guy, he's like, don't do crack. And then you see him in the corner, like, Jamal, what are you doing? He's like, man, I gotta do my crack. It's like, yo, what do you mean, man? You sold me on that shit. And now you're holding on to that sack by yourself? Like, come on, man. What the fuck, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, and it also, I think, speaks for your character as a person where, you know, your verbal communication and your physical actions are identical. They're in line with each other. You can't say something and then do something else. It's like, what a bitch. Right? What are your thoughts on this?
On what you just said?
Yeah. Like Solomon's
that's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, man. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've done that myself. Everyone's capable of it. I've seen it. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Do you remember the first time your parents did that shit?
No.
I remember that very clearly. And I'm like, I think I was 6.
Yeah.
And I was like, should I listen to this motherfucker still? And like at that point, I think was the first time. I didn't think I went against my parents' wishes. But I think after 6, I kind of realized, like, I came to consciousness. It was kind of like, they are wrong too. And it was like, it's almost like seeing your parents fuck. Because you're like traumatized from seeing something or understanding something that completely changed your life. Right?
You had this at 6?
I swear to God. And you know what happened? It was grade 1.
I can barely speak English. Literally, you can barely speak English.
What do you mean?
You came here when you were like...
No, but the feeling of, hey...
No, I know.
My mom or dad said this, but they didn't follow through.
Yeah.
Or they say this, but that's not even true. It's a lie. You know what I'm saying? You see these progressions in them. I think I didn't make much of it before that age.
Right.
At that age, I remember the event. That's why I know it was exactly at that age.
Let me say like before that age. Motherfucker, before that age, you would have been like 5, 4, like 3 years old. Like, what do you...
No, but you understand certain things. Like I remember...
You're not understanding shit at 3 years. You don't even have memories when you're fucking 3 years old.
No, I do, bro.
Get the fuck...
I do.
Is so stupid.
I swear to God.
Yo, I remember climbing out of the vagina. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That's different.
I saw the light. I saw the doctor and he fucking slapped me.
No. No, the reason I remember 3 is because this is why I say I remember 3. There's memories I have of like some heinous crime happening or some shit in my family or like outside my family where I recall this back towards my sister and my mother.
Yeah.
To see if they can reciprocate a similar situation. And those situations existed. So what do you say to that, you fucking big nose, thick mustache fucking motherfucker?
I say those are glimpses. That's not you remembering 3. Those are glimpses. You have like flashes to traumatic events.
That's what it is. You said you don't remember what it's like to be 3. I remember. You
remember what it was like when you were just like walking around when you're 3?
I remember when my dad used to put me on his lap and I used to drive a right-hand drive fucking Range Rover, bro. I remember those days.
You were driving a Range Rover?
I was on his lap,
Okay.
holding the steering wheel, and
It's just-
motherfucker pressing the
This
gas.
story just gets more outlandish by the minute. First, it's like you're remembering
Jesus
things from when
Christ.
you're 3 years old. The next thing you're like, yeah, I remember driving when I was 3. Bro,
No.
what?
You took it out of context.
No, I heard it wrong. I was like, Jesus Christ.
You took it out of context.
This guy is
You
insane.
little bitch. Everybody did that. I think your dad probably did that.
No,
shit
yeah,
too.
I remember that. But
Yeah,
I was
get the
it
fuck outta
wasn't
here.
3. It was not 3.
Yeah,
It
what are
was
you, 6, 12?
20.
Last week. Dad put me on his lap. Dude, that'd be an awkward car ride, man.
What do you fit, man? Forget about awkward. How the fuck would you? That'd be impressive, man. It's like some clown car shit. Shit, 2 grown men.
Bro, I see you, and you're like, like your dad's just chilling right here, right? And you're just like squished up to the windshield.
Yeah, dude. It's like
in
what?
your truck, dude. I would die.
Oh my god.
Why is this so necessary?
Oh man.
That's what I would think. Interesting fact of the day, because this is related to Valentine's, I guess.
Okay.
I'll just read this off. Neuroscientists have linked the serotonin transporter 5-HT to both neuroticism and sexual behavior, as well as obsessive compulsive disorder. So,
What was it that they linked?
what do you mean?
What you said they linked?
They
something.
linked obsessive compulsive disorder to sexual behaviors.
Interesting.
Okay, and it's the link to the serotonin transporter 5-HT. And it's interesting because you can be obsessively compulsively. You can have OCD and also be in love. It's the same shit. They're basically saying it's a thin line between those two things,
I see.
right? Which is nuts.
That is kind of nuts.
Because bitches can't be like, yo, you're obsessive.
Yeah.
It's like, that's biology, bitch. What do you want me to say?
That's what you wanted.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You want the fucking pearly white gates? You got to get some of this. You know what
Jesus
I'm saying?
Christ.
It's just, it comes with the territory. Bro, old school, one of my favorite fresh and fit fucking
Jesus. Take it back.
examples.
Take it back.
Let me explain why this is one of my favorites.
Throwback Thursdays, baby.
Whether I want to die or not, if a robber comes in, I got to go deal with that or figure something out. If I got kids or a wife or whatever, I got to figure that out. Never is that going to be the other way around. So I understand this thing and accept it. It's like protection. Maybe not to that level, but safety and protection is like, nobody's saying that that's not my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then there's a flip coin to that. We're losing touch of that, what that flip coin is now. Because there was like, women couldn't vote for for a long time. They couldn't have credit cards until the 70s, 80s. They couldn't have credit cards. Imagine that shit. Right now, all you got to do is be 15. Your mom signs off on it. You get a credit card.
Yeah.
But back then, it's like, bro, you could be a 50-year-old woman. You got to go ask your husband for money and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have credit cards. You can have a bank. Maybe he gives you $1 once a week or some shit. Buy yourself something nice. Listen to how ridiculous that was, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think now we're losing touch with what that is. It's like, if we're gonna link obsession to being obsessive to OCD and being in love is the same, then we have to really understand there is no real thing. This open-mindedness is it's a good technique, good strategy to use to exercise your limits. However, that being said, Western dating is I think more than 50% failure, because if you really think about it, those people that are together that hate each other
Yeah.
and are just there for the kids, how much do they account for?
Yeah.
10%? What do you think?
I can't even throw you a number on that. I know it's probably significant, but
I would say at least low double digits.
low double digits. Yeah, okay, sure.
So if you
Sure.
if you say, divorce is what? What do you say divorce is right now? 50-50?
People say 50, yeah.
All right, 50-50 plus another 10% of people that fucking hate their wives and hate their husbands. So you're telling me you got a system down that's 40% successful and 60% not successful? I tell you, if you go outside the door, 60% of the time you might die. You
Never
gotta
going
wait
out-
till tomorrow.
Never going out that door.
Bro, you're sleeping in my bed.
Yeah.
All right. This is the same shit. Like I think the problem we have right now is recently I've been invited to a couple, like people like in my circles have been either getting married or I've been invited to a wedding or something. I usually try not to go to weddings.
Okay.
I'm not a big wedding fucking fan. Like I don't like to go get a suit and fucking go sit down there like a mook and just talk to these fucking retards. Oh, it's so nice to see you. Oh, you see my aunt. You're like, please. I don't need this aggravation. Like, what are you doing these days?
This guy's just describing like fucking basic functioning society. He's like, I don't wanna be part of that.
No, it's just if I have to
Jesus.
work on a heavy duty schedule and be productive, that's not the thing I really want to do on a Sunday. If I have a
Sure.
Sunday off or some shit like that, I want to like, you know, specific relationships and keep productivity high. But the ultimate goal is like have a good closer friends, but keep productivity high. I don't have to like party and shit. Like I could sometimes, but maybe I just don't want to go to a fucking 3 weddings back to back every week. What about then, you fucking bitch? What about then? You ever consider my feelings? You ever consider what Armand wants? No, I gotta go to every fucking wedding? Fuck you, man. Fuck these weddings, dude.
Oh, I'm dead. I didn't invite you to these weddings. Relax.
Fucking bitch.
Oh my god.
Where's my freedoms?
That's too fucking good. I don't know what I want. What about Armand?
Yeah, but that it was fucking hilarious because you just it's the same talk. Like all those people you see, almost 90% of the time, at least for me, it's not a deep conversation.
Yeah.
Like when have you been like, yo, dog? Somebody comes up to you, you don't know this motherfucker. You're like, yo, dog. Why is her ass so far away from our balls? But girls get UTIs from their own ass.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Or some shit like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. No.
Something interesting. Like, man, have you seen like you think aliens are real? Or just
It happens, dude. You'd be
you know what I mean?
surprised. It's
But fucking rare. Like a successful marriage. Full fucking circle.
definitely
guys.
definitely not like that. But sure.
Full circle.
You want to wrap me up and wrap it up like that? Okay, up to you.
All I gotta say is I think our parents, your parents specifically, made it through, and the parents that have made it through from the old countries, like there's a special bond there, and that's a rare thing to find. And I think it's nice to find that, but I also think in this world there's so much opportunity for everybody,
Yep.
men and women,
Yep.
that we're just mass producing fuck boys and fuck girls at a rate we've never seen before. At a rate we've never seen before.
I'd say that's a pretty sensible take.
And this also produces another group of people who are either tormented by a situation like that or just grow to understand that the world is fucked like that as far as dating, where they're just voided.
Yeah.
They're voiding out of this and they just don't want to be a part of it. That accounts for a certain amount of people. So where are we really heading? I think this is probably a good sign of a societal population drop.
Wow. Damn, dude.
And I told you this week is gonna be okay. I told you from the beginning this podcast is gonna be all right. We had some ups, we had some downs.
Definitely had some downs. definitely had some downs out there. we had a moment of downs.
I think you more than me though. What are your thoughts?
It was 50-50. There was that one point where I'm like, bro, I think the worst one was I'm like, bro, out of 100 people, like that 5-minute stretch right there, I'm like, yo, it's not good. I even said, man. I was like, minute 19.
Minute 19.
Yeah.
All right. Any last words, you fuck?
Don't let the population drop.
Hold on. I got a good one.
Everyone do your part.
I gotta look this up where the fuck it was. Does it record thing? I'll cut this, but does it record like music?
No. You have to add that in later.
God damn it. Can I hear the music at least? Or
You
is it
can
gonna-
hear it. Oh, no, you won't hear it through there. We're just listening to ourselves right now.
Where would it play if I played some shit? Where do you think it'll play, Hector?
Speaker.
Dun, 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 dun. Not too bad, eh?
I like it.
All I gotta say is this. The magic that you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
You already used that before.
Fuck you.
Sorry.
I'm sticking to it.
Okay.